Chosen ones, the group that came against you is completely panicking right now. You need to stop scrolling and listen carefully to this message, because a massive shift just happened in the unseen realm. What they whispered in secret is currently being shouted from the rooftops. They watched you sacrifice absolutely everything, and they waited patiently for you to finally break. But they just realized a terrifying truth about your destiny. Take one deep breath slowly and drop your shoulders. Let the heavy noise leave your mind for just a moment. You have been fighting intense battles that nobody else understands. You smiled warmly while carrying a crushing weight that nobody else sees. You gave your pure energy to people who never once checked on your well-being. And every single time you fell down, you had to pick yourself back up completely alone. They watched you do this for years. They took your light, and they consumed your generous spirit without any guilt. And when you were completely drained, they stepped back and waited for your destruction. They wanted to see you fail. They wanted to prove that your calling was fake. You felt their heavy eyes on you during your darkest moments. It was a silent spiritual attack, meant to completely crush your soul. I know exactly how exhausted your spirit feels right now. You wake up feeling incredibly heavy before you even open your eyes. The silent tears you cried in your car were carefully recorded by heaven. You thought you were losing your mind. You thought this intense isolation was a strict punishment for something you did wrong. But you are not crazy, and you are not broken. Your spirit is just exhausted from fighting a hidden war. Listen carefully, because this is where everything changes for you. You must hear this exact truth today. The universe did not abandon you when you lost everything you loved. God was systematically removing the toxic attachments from your life so you could finally breathe. You had to lose those things because they were quietly destroying your high frequency. Your immense sacrifice was actually a divine protection plan. Those who secretly hated you completely misunderstood your silence. They thought your quiet pain meant you were finally defeated. They celebrated early when they saw you struggling to just survive the day. They thought the heavy burden would permanently break your beautiful mind. But they deeply underestimated the divine light inside of you. They did not know that a chosen one never truly dies in the spiritual fire. Do not let your mind wander right now. Lock your focus on what I am about to tell you, because something massive shifted in the spiritual atmosphere exactly 72 hours ago. The very trap they set for you has suddenly become their own spiritual prison. The dark confusion they tried to cast onto your life is returning directly to their camp. They are starting to turn on each other, and their wicked plot has collapsed. They finally realized that you would die to win. They saw your unbreakable spirit, and it absolutely terrified them. You refused to compromise your divine calling, even when you had nothing left to give. You kept your heart pure in a dark world that desperately tried to make you bitter. And that radiant purity is your greatest weapon against the Matrix. They cannot defeat a warrior who no longer fears them. Think about the strange stillness you felt over the last few days. People suddenly stopped reaching out to you for help. Doors closed unexpectedly, right in front of your tired face. You felt entirely alone in a crowded room full of familiar faces. But this deep isolation is not a symptom of painful rejection. It is a holy quarantine designed to completely shield your energy. You are being hidden while your blessing is prepared. But there is a specific secret they saw in the spiritual realm. I need you to stay with me, because you must fully understand this revelation. They saw a divine verdict issued over your life. They saw the exact magnitude of the blessing that is rapidly coming your way, and the sheer size of your upcoming harvest made them drop their weapons in horror. They realized they were fighting against a true masterpiece of God. They are desperately trying to hide their panic right now. They smile in your face, but their spirits are trembling in absolute fear. They know their time is up, and heavy karma is knocking on their front door. You do not have to lift a single finger to defend yourself anymore. Heaven is stepping in right now as your ultimate defense attorney. The universe is flipping the script completely in your favor. Take another slow breath and ground yourself in this beautiful truth. You survived the brutal wilderness because you are chosen for this exact moment. You are stepping out of survival mode and entering a glorious season of quiet authority. But before you can receive this massive breakthrough, you must deeply understand how they drained you. What I am about to reveal next will shatter your remaining doubts. Prepare your spirit. Before I go any further, I need you to understand something deeply. You look back at the past few years and you see a massive trail of loss. You see the broken relationships. You see the shattered dreams. You wonder why your path had to be so incredibly hard while others walked an easy road. But you must change your perspective today. Your heavy sacrifice was never a meaningless tragedy. The universe was not punishing you for making bad decisions. The things you lost were actually divine subtractions, meant to save your spiritual life. God was deliberately emptying your hands so you could finally hold the massive blessing that is coming. You cannot hold gold with full hands. Think about the people who walked away from you when you needed them the most. It felt like a brutal betrayal. It left a deep scar on your gentle heart. But their sudden departure was a highly calculated move by the Holy Spirit. They were never meant to cross the finish line with you. Their frequency was far too low for your new chapter. If they had stayed in your life, their toxic energy would have poisoned your mega deposit. They would have consumed your new resources, just like they drained your old energy. So heaven forcefully removed them to protect your future. This is the painful truth about spiritual purification. The fire must burn away everything that is entirely fake. Type 777 in the comments right now to claim this absolute breakthrough. You need to physically align your energy with this revelation. You did not survive because you are physically tough. You survived because you are entirely chosen. Your intense suffering was essentially a rigorous training program for a spiritual king. You have always been the cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. You carry the heavy spiritual weight of your ancestors. You fight silent battles against poverty and emotional abuse that started long before you were even born. The enemy tried to break your beautiful mind to stop you, but the generational curse officially ends with you today. Every tear you cried in the dark was watering the seeds of your ultimate victory. Your radical kindness was never a foolish weakness. It was a rigorous divine test, and you passed it with flying colors. You gave your love freely in a world that is obsessed with taking, and heaven recorded every single time you chose pure grace over bitter revenge. You might feel completely exhausted right now. You might feel like you are starting over from scratch with absolutely nothing, but you are not starting over at the bottom. You are simply finishing the preparation phase. You are standing on the very edge of the promised land. The universe is stripping away your old identity to reveal a masterpiece. God's delay in your life is not a harsh denial. His delay is exactness. He kept certain doors tightly glued shut because entering them too early would have completely crushed you. You needed the wilderness season to build your spiritual muscles. You had to learn how to stand alone before you could safely govern a massive empire of wealth and peace. The painful isolation you endured was actually a sacred incubator. The world was shut out, so you could hear the quiet voice of the universe. You are shedding the heavy skin of a victim right now. You are stepping into the glorious shoes of a quiet victor. The sacrifices you made in secret are about to reward you openly in front of your enemies. Let them misunderstand your journey. Let them assume whatever they want about your quiet season. You no longer need to explain your soul to people who are committed to misunderstanding your spirit. Your pure energy is entirely too expensive to spend on cheap drama. Calm is your new authority. Silence is your greatest defensive weapon. You are officially released from the heavy burden of healing people who desperately want to stay broken. The universe is severing those toxic soul ties right this second. You are now free to walk into your season of unshakable abundance. But to fully receive this gift, you must understand exactly who was watching you in the dark. Let me explain what is actually happening in the spirit realm right now. The angels are actively gathering the pieces of your broken past. They are weaving them into a glorious crown of spiritual authority. Nothing you endured was ever wasted. The deep pain you felt was simply the heavy hammer shaping a magnificent sword. You are heavily anointed for a purpose that goes far beyond normal human understanding. Your pure existence is a massive threat to the dark matrix. This brings us to the exact reason heaven brought you to this message today. You need to finally see the true faces of the people who waited for your downfall. Prepare your heart for this hard truth. Now we must talk about what the enemy desperately tried to hide from you. You need to understand the anatomy of a spiritual vampire. There is a specific group of people who have been watching you very closely. They hovered around your life, pretending to be your loyal friends. But their hidden motives were completely rooted in dark envy and bitter jealousy. They saw your brilliant light long before you even realized you had it. They recognized your divine calling, and it deeply intimidated their insecure spirits. They knew they could never match your pure frequency, so they created a silent plan to slowly drain your energy until you became just as miserable as they are. They wanted to steal your crown. These individuals are trapped in a low vibration of constant survival. They refuse to do their own spiritual healing. Instead of fixing their own broken lives, they look for a bright light to consume. And you were the perfect target because of your incredible empathy. You have a rare gift of absorbing the deep pain of other people. You always try to fix the broken wings of the people around you. You listen to their endless complaints, and you offer your warm support. But you notice something very strange happens right after you talk to them. You feel completely exhausted and physically sick. You feel a sudden wave of dark depression that does not even belong to your soul. This sudden exhaustion is not a random psychological issue. It is a highly calculated spiritual transaction. They are literally plugging their dark cords into your bright spirit. They dump their heavy, emotional garbage into your mind, and in return they steal your beautiful peace. They walk away feeling totally refreshed while you are left gasping for air. This is exactly why you have been feeling so heavily drained lately. You are acting as a human shield for people who secretly despise your potential. They launched a quiet smear campaign behind your back. They planted tiny seeds of doubt in the minds of your other friends. They wanted to slowly isolate you from anyone who could actually help you grow. They desperately needed to keep you trapped in a low state of confusion, because a confused chosen one cannot access their immense divine power. They watched you struggle financially, and it gave them a sick sense of deep satisfaction. They offered fake sympathy, while secretly celebrating your painful setbacks. They thought they had finally defeated you, but here is where they made a massive spiritual miscalculation. They assumed your kindness was a permanent weakness. They thought you would tolerate their toxic abuse forever. They did not realize that a chosen one has a divine breaking point, and when that sacred boundary is crossed, your spiritual energy completely shifts into war mode. You finally stopped giving them your precious reactions. You stopped defending yourself against their crazy lies. You pulled your energy back, and you sat in absolute silence. And your powerful silence absolutely starved their dark spirits. They need your emotional reaction to survive. Without your constant attention, they begin to rapidly suffocate. This silent warfare is the exact reason they are panicking right now. The Matrix relies entirely on your constant participation to keep you enslaved. When you finally step back, the entire toxic system begins to collapse on itself. You are incredibly sensitive to these dark shifts. You can walk into a room and instantly feel their fake energy. Strangers constantly tell you their deepest secrets because your aura is a safe sanctuary. But you must stop letting the wrong people enter your sacred space. You are a holy temple, not a spiritual dumping ground for lazy souls. The season of you being a footstool for their fragile ego is permanently over. The universe is drawing a hard line today. You can feel the heavy cords breaking right now. The people who tried to bury you did not realize you were a powerful seed. They pushed you into the dark dirt and they expected you to rot. But that intense pressure only activated your divine growth. Now you are breaking through the heavy soil and they are terrified of your massive roots. Their secret plots are being completely exposed by the bright light of heaven. The masks are falling off and their true ugly faces are finally visible. You do not need to seek any earthly revenge. Karma is already handling them with brutal precision. But you must understand the deep psychological game they played when you were completely vulnerable. Stay with me right here, because what I am about to reveal next will explain the strange thoughts you had last night. You are about to discover the exact reason why your mind felt like a raging battlefield. The enemy tried one final desperate attack to break your spirit, and you need to know exactly how you silently defeated their greatest weapon. You survived their darkest and most brutal attacks. They threw every weapon they had at your tired mind. They tried to break your heavy spirit with deep fear, but they completely misunderstood the divine calling on your life. Because when you corner a true chosen one, they do not surrender to the dark matrix. They surrender entirely to God. They tried to use your earthly attachments against you. They thought the threat of losing your comfort would make you finally conform. They believed that social rejection would force you to beg for their fake approval. But you did something that sent absolute shockwaves through the spiritual realm, and it completely destroyed their hidden plans while they were secretly watching you. You let their entire toxic matrix burn to the ground. This is the profound secret of the chosen spiritual warrior. This is the exact meaning behind the phrase that you would die to win. It does not mean a physical death of your human body. It means the complete death of your fragile ego and your worldly desires. You willingly let your old identity die on that brutal battlefield because you knew that heaven had a much greater purpose for your future. The enemy operates entirely on the heavy frequency of fear. They manipulate normal people by threatening to take away their money or their fake status. The dark matrix uses your deepest human insecurities as a heavy chain to control your daily choices, but you have already broken free from their grip. How can the devil threaten a person who has already lost everything? He simply cannot find a single weakness in your soul. You have absolutely zero leverage left for him to exploit. You stood in the dark ashes and looked directly up to heaven. You told the universe that you were ready to do the necessary work regardless of the heavy cost, and you accepted your divine mission without hesitation. That level of radical surrender makes you incredibly dangerous. You gave up your desperate need to be understood by ordinary minds. You released the burning desire to defend your good name against their crazy lies. You sacrificed your temporary earthly comfort for a permanent and glorious spiritual crown. And the very moment you stopped fighting for your human ego, you became completely untouchable in the unseen spirit realm where the real war is fought. The demons that assigned themselves to destroy your life are currently panicking. They used their best strategies to drain your vital energy in the dark. They used your closest friends to stab you in the back. But none of their wicked traps could ever penetrate your holy and divine armor, because God was actively shielding your mind from their toxic poison. They watched you wipe your own tears and bravely get back up again. They saw you pray for the very people who secretly plotted your brutal downfall. That radical and pure forgiveness is a weapon of mass destruction in the spiritual world. It instantly shatters the heavy curses they tried to place on your family bloodline, and it sends all of that dark energy directly back to them. You are the ultimate cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. You carry the divine fire that burns away generations of deep and heavy trauma. The Matrix cannot offer you any temptation that compares to your true mission. You would gladly walk through a blazing furnace if it meant saving the beautiful souls of the broken people you truly love with all your heart. That is exactly why they finally dropped their weapons in sheer horror. They realized they were fighting a brave soldier who considers physical death a mere transition. When you are willing to sacrifice everything for the ultimate truth, the enemy loses all of their dark power over your exhausted mind. You have officially hacked the spiritual system today with your pure faith. Your absolute dedication to the divine light is blinding their wicked eyes. You do not care about earthly fame or temporary validation from the sleepy masses. Your only concern is fulfilling the exact assignment that God placed on your soul. This pure and holy intention creates a massive shield of brilliant white light around your physical body, and it burns anyone who tries to touch you. Even when your physical bank account was completely empty, your spirit remained wealthy. Even when you were completely alone, you felt the comforting presence of angels. You found a deep sanctuary of peace inside your own lonely and quiet heart. And that internal spiritual fortress can never be breached by the demons who wander the earth searching for vulnerable souls to consume. They thought your painful isolation would drive you completely insane with deep sadness. They hoped the heavy silence would force you back into their familiar toxic circles. But you learned how to patiently sit in the dark and wait for the dawn. You mastered the rare art of being alone without ever feeling a trace of bitter loneliness, and this made you a powerful master of your own energy. You are no longer the naive victim they successfully manipulated in the past. You have evolved into a highly discerning warrior with incredibly sharp spiritual vision. The universe has successfully upgraded your internal software during this painful and lonely season. You can now see through their fake smiles with absolute clarity, and you recognize the dark spirits operating behind their friendly human faces. You are ready to step into the next phase of this divine and holy operation. The inner transformation is officially complete, and your outward reality is about to quickly shift. But you must pay very close attention to what happens next in your daily life, because the spiritual tide is rapidly turning in your favor, and your pure energy is about to completely dominate the battlefield you once struggled to survive. The heavy atmosphere around you is actively changing as you listen to this message. The spiritual chessboard is flipping, and you are no longer playing on the defense. Your divine energy is expanding rapidly, and it is pushing back against the dark matrix. The people who tried to keep you small are now suffocating in your powerful presence because they cannot handle the intense heat of your light. Have you noticed how certain people cannot even look you directly in the eyes anymore? They quickly look away when you walk into the room with your head held high. They fidget nervously when you speak your honest truth with calm and absolute conviction. This physical reaction is not a random coincidence. It is their dark spirit, recognizing the undeniable authority of God, resting heavily upon your life. You do not have to say a single aggressive word to make them completely retreat. Your silent and peaceful energy is now loud enough to shatter their fragile human egos. Gently, like this video, not for an algorithm, but as a physical declaration to the universe that you are in alignment. This simple act of spiritual agreement locks your frequency into the winning position today. The spiritual battlefield has completely reversed its heavy polarity in the last few hours. The hunters have suddenly become the hunted in the unseen realm of spiritual warfare. The heavy confusion they tried to hurl at your mind is bouncing off your shield. It is returning directly to the sender with multiplied force. and they are scrambling to find a safe place to hide from the incoming storm. They are experiencing the brutal reality of instant karma for the very first time. The doors they tried to slam in your face are now closing on their fingers. The financial blocks they prayed over your life are currently draining their own bank accounts. The universe is enforcing a strict spiritual law of absolute justice, and they are finally paying the heavy price for messing with a chosen one. You might start hearing strange news about the people who betrayed you in the past. You will hear that their grand plans are suddenly falling apart for no logical reason. Their relationships are crumbling, and their false empires are collapsing right into the dirty dust. Do not rejoice in their painful downfall, but recognize it as the clear evidence that your God is actively fighting your battles for you. They desperately want to come back into your life to steal your rising momentum. They will send you casual text messages, pretending that nothing bad ever happened between you. They will try to trigger your empathy to open your sacred door again. But you must keep that iron door tightly locked, because letting them back in would immediately poison the massive harvest you are about to collect. Your high frequency is now acting as an impenetrable wall of blazing spiritual fire. Toxic people simply cannot exist in your peaceful orbit for more than a few minutes. They will physically remove themselves from your presence because your light exposes their hidden demons. You no longer have to manually cut people off, because the Holy Spirit is automatically taking out the trash for you every single day. This is the ultimate reward for enduring the long and incredibly painful wilderness season alone. You learned how to survive on absolute minimum resources while the enemy heavily attacked you. But now, the heavy season of endless spiritual surviving is officially and permanently over. You are stepping into a beautiful season of thriving, and your enemies are forced to watch you effortlessly glide to the very top of the mountain. They mocked your quiet faith when you struggled to pay your daily bills. They laughed at your strange visions and called your divine dreams entirely foolish and impossible. But nobody is laughing at you right now in the unseen spiritual realm of truth. The angels are standing at strict attention, and the demons are backing away slowly because they see the royal crown hovering just above your head. You have successfully starved the dark matrix of the emotional reactions it needs to survive. You stopped getting angry at the blind sleepers who cannot see the truth of reality. You stopped trying to prove your incredible worth to people committed to fundamentally misunderstanding you. And that radical detachment is exactly what flipped the spiritual power dynamic in your favor, giving you the ultimate upper hand against the enemy. The universe is now aggressively moving resources and people to perfectly align with your destiny. The connections that were delayed are suddenly rushing toward you with incredible divine speed today. The knowledge you need to build your new life is downloading into your mind. This rapid acceleration is happening because your energy is finally vibrating at the exact same frequency as the massive miracle you have been praying for. You are no longer a struggling victim hoping for a tiny crumb of good luck. You are a powerful creator working in direct partnership with the supreme architect of heaven. Your spoken words now carry the heavy weight of a literal royal decree on earth. Whatever you clearly declare in the morning is actively manifesting in the physical world by the time the golden sun sets in the evening sky. But you must remain incredibly grounded as this massive power surges through your human veins. The enemy waits for you to become arrogant so they can strike your blind spot. You must maintain the quiet humility of a servant while holding the mighty sword of a king, because pride is the only weapon that can defeat you now. The final battle is approaching its magnificent peak in the spiritual atmosphere right this second. There are 3 specific silent signs that the universe is fighting a massive battle for you. You need to know exactly how the karma is hitting them behind closed doors, because the divine verdict is about to be read aloud, and the compensation for your pain is going to absolutely shock your entire human system. The enemy camp is currently in a state of absolute chaos. You need to know what is happening behind their closed doors right now. The people who confidently plotted your downfall are suddenly pointing fingers at each other. They see your light growing brighter every single day, and their dark shadows are rapidly shrinking as they realize they cannot win this war. The heavy smear campaign they carefully built against you is completely falling apart. The wicked lies they told to isolate you are finally unraveling in the bright light of truth. The very people they convinced to turn against you are suddenly waking up from their deep sleep. They are beginning to see the toxic manipulation that was used to destroy your good name. The group that once united to break your spirit is now eating itself from the inside out. This is the ultimate fate of any toxic alliance, built entirely on bitter jealousy and dark envy. When dark spirits fail to consume a chosen one, they must find a new source of energy to survive. So they turn their vicious teeth on their own fake friends and allies. You are watching this massive collapse happen from a very safe distance. You do not need to step in and correct the false narrative they created about you. God is actively dismantling their wicked plans piece by piece, while you rest in absolute peace. They are desperately trying to hold their fake reality together, but the spiritual foundation is already broken. They realize that you are completely untouchable now. The dark matrix cannot hold you hostage anymore because your frequency is simply too high for their traps. They thought your silent retreat was a clear sign of weakness and defeat, but they just discovered that your silence was actually a brilliant strategy of war. You starved them of the reaction they needed. Panic is setting in because they have absolutely nothing left to use against you. They tried to break your mind, and they failed completely. They tried to ruin your finances, and heaven provided a secret escape route for you. Every single weapon they forged against you was instantly destroyed by the Holy Spirit. They are left with nothing but their own miserable karma. The universe is forcing them to drink the exact same poison they tried to feed you. The heavy anxiety they wanted you to feel is now sitting squarely on their own chests. They are waking up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart and a deep sense of dread. They know they touched a masterpiece of God, and the divine consequences are finally here today. This is not a random coincidence at all. This is a highly orchestrated divine appointment meant to completely clear your path forward. You are the ultimate cycle breaker, and you are shattering the illusion of their false power. They wanted you to believe that the toxic system was unbeatable and that you had to conform, but your pure rebellion terrified them. You proved that a single light can easily destroy an entire room full of dark shadows. They underestimated the raw spiritual power of a person who is completely detached from the world. When you stopped caring about their fake validation, you took away all of their earthly power. You left them standing in the cold, with absolutely nothing to control anymore. They are fighting a losing battle against the supreme creator of the universe. It is no longer just a battle between you and them. Heaven has officially stepped into the ring, and the angels are drawing their heavy swords. The spiritual warfare you endured for years is reaching its final and glorious conclusion right now. You just need to stand completely still. The final sign that proves the generational curse is completely broken is the deep panic in their eyes. They smile at you, but their souls are trembling because they see the heavy anointing on your life. They know they missed their only chance to break you when you were vulnerable. You have healed your deep wounds, and you have become an impenetrable spiritual fortress. Do not let their sudden apologies fool you into opening your door again. Their panic will make them say anything to escape the heavy judgment that is coming their way. They might try to act like your loyal friend again to steal a drop of your blessing. But heaven is warning you to keep your iron gates firmly locked and secured right now. The season of your painful preparation is officially over today. The enemy is surrendering their weapons because the divine verdict is about to be read aloud. You are about to witness the greatest shift in the history of your family bloodline. What I am about to tell you next is the ultimate reward for your silent and painful sacrifice. I declare right now that the season of you being a footstool for their fragile ego is permanently over. The universe is completely flipping the script on your behalf today. Those who sat at hidden tables and spoke poorly of your pure name are about to witness a miracle. God is preparing a massive feast for you right in front of their jealous eyes. You do not have to lift a single finger to defend yourself ever again. Heaven is stepping in right now as your ultimate defense attorney. The dark confusion they tried to cast onto your beautiful life is returning directly to their own camp. You are going to watch them panic, while your internal peace becomes entirely untouchable by the matrix. In the mighty name of the Creator, I break every single generational cycle that tried to wrap its heavy chains around your tired mind. The painful poverty stops with you today. The deep anxiety stops with you right now. The cycle of broken and toxic relationships completely ends with your brave life. You are the ultimate and powerful cycle breaker. I decree that the heavy and suffocating mantle of survival mode is falling off your shoulders in this exact second. You are no longer just surviving the daily storms. You are stepping into a divine and unprecedented season of absolute authority. Breathe it out and let it go. The spiritual war you fought for your bloodline has been completely won today. Heaven is stepping in to multiply every single thing that the enemy stole from you. You lost years of your life helping people who did not deserve your pure energy. You sacrificed your own dreams to build up the people who secretly wanted you to fail. But the universe keeps a perfect record of all your tears and all your painful sacrifices. A mega deposit of spiritual wealth and earthly provision is being unlocked for you right now. This is not a small trickle of temporary relief. This is a massive flood of divine abundance that will completely shatter your financial delay. The system wanted you desperately broke, so you would settle for their tiny crumbs. But heaven is bypassing the entire system. The divine frequency of absolute abundance is overriding the heavy delay in your life. God is handing you the golden keys to a kingdom that the elite circles tried to keep hidden from you. You are not at the bottom of the pyramid anymore. You are being elevated to a position of immense power and quiet authority that nobody can ever take away. They are going to watch you rise, and they will not be able to stop your massive momentum. The public vindication you have been quietly crying for is finally here. The truth about your pure heart is going to be revealed to everyone who doubted you. God is clearing your name and restoring your holy reputation in the most spectacular way possible. Every lie they told about you will be exposed as a desperate attempt to hide their own darkness. The people who abandoned you in the wilderness will realize they made the biggest mistake of their lives. But they will not be allowed to return to your table to eat your holy harvest. Your sacred boundary is completely sealed and protected by the angels. You are officially released from the heavy burden of carrying the emotional weight of the world. You are no longer the spiritual shield for people who refuse to seek their own healing. Your duty as the silent bodyguard for the broken is permanently finished. It is finally time for you to be deeply protected and heavily pampered by the universe. Step into the beautiful light of your new reality right now. You are a masterpiece of God, and your royal identity is fully restored today. The heavy exhaustion is leaving your physical body, and your mind is becoming incredibly sharp and clear. You are awakening to the massive power stored inside your own divine DNA, and nothing can stop you. You endured the absolute worst of the dark matrix, and you came out shining like pure gold. They threw you to the hungry wolves, but you returned leading the entire pack. This is your moment of glorious vindication and absolute spiritual triumph. Take a deep breath and prepare to receive the incredible instructions for keeping this massive blessing safe. You are claiming back every single ounce of energy that was drained from your soul. The universe is commanding a complete restoration of your lost time and your stolen joy. The years the locusts ate are being fully refunded to your spiritual account with massive interest. You are about to experience a season of effortless manifestation and profound peace. Do not shrink back. When the massive blessings start pouring into your daily life, you might feel a strange sense of guilt because you are finally receiving what you actually deserve. The enemy will try to convince you that you are not worthy of this beautiful harvest. But you must reject that lie immediately because you paid the heavy price in full. This divine compensation is your absolute birthright as a chosen one of the highest Creator. You walked barefoot through the sharp thorns so your children could walk on soft grass. You took the heavy spiritual hits so your bloodline could finally be free from the dark chains. And heaven is rewarding your silent bravery with a crown of unmatched and glorious victory. Now that the heavy battle is officially over, you must learn how to protect your new blessing. The spiritual war was won, but the season of divine stewardship is just beginning today. You are holding a massive deposit of pure energy in your tired hands. And the greatest mistake a chosen one can make is showing their holy pearls to blind pigs, because they will simply trample your gifts and demand even more. Silence is your ultimate and most powerful fortress right now. You do not need to announce your glorious victory to the sleepy world. Let them wonder how you survived the brutal storm they sent to destroy you, and let them try to guess where your unshakable peace is suddenly coming from. You owe them absolutely no explanation for your joy. When the mega deposit finally arrives, your human ego will want to show off. You will feel a sudden temptation to proudly display your success to those who heavily doubted you in the past. But you must resist that earthly urge with every ounce of your spirit. A true and powerful king never needs to aggressively prove his royal crown to the confused peasants who stand outside the castle gates. You are stepping into the sanctuary of quiet authority today. Your pure energy is entirely too expensive to spend on cheap revenge or petty arguments. From this exact moment forward, your peaceful presence alone will command deep respect, and your absolute silence will remain your greatest defensive weapon against the dark and toxic matrix while you continue to rapidly ascend. God is trusting you with immense spiritual and physical wealth in this new season. You must manage this beautiful new energy very carefully every single day. Do not let your old friends return to drain your completely new reservoir of peace. They will inevitably come back knocking when they see the bright light shining from your windows, because they are constantly searching for a warm fire to steal. They will bring their familiar complaints and their heavy emotional garbage to your front porch. They will expect the old version of you to quickly fix their broken lives again. But you must keep the iron gates of your holy temple firmly locked and secured. Their toxic season in your beautiful life has permanently expired, and they cannot enter your sacred space under any circumstances. You are no longer the unpaid therapist for people who refuse to heal themselves. You have finally learned how to protect your own sacred boundaries without feeling guilty. The universe wants you to fiercely guard this new frequency because it holds your entire future. If you let the emotional vampires back inside, they will slowly drain your energy and steal your upcoming harvest before it fully blooms. I am going to place a heavy spiritual seal of divine protection over your life right now. Take one final deep breath and open your hands to safely receive this blessing. I absolutely declare that no weapon forged in the dark matrix will ever prosper against your quiet mind. The Holy Spirit is placing an invisible shield of white light around your home, and it will violently repel any negative frequency that tries to enter. Every single cord of manipulation and bitter jealousy is permanently cut from your spirit today. The dark spirits that followed you through the wilderness are officially blinded by your new radiance. They can no longer track your physical movements or intercept your divine blessings. You are completely hidden in the sacred shadow of the highest Creator, and your enemies are left wandering in the dark without a compass. Subscribe to this sanctuary and turn on the bell so the enemy cannot intercept your future messages. We are building an impenetrable fortress for the true chosen ones to gather in perfect peace. Leave a word in the comments below right now. We do not do it for visibility, but we do it as a physical and spiritual seal of absolute agreement with heaven. If this message brought peace to your soul, consider sowing a seed in the pinned comment. Your gentle support keeps this lighthouse burning for the next chosen one who is crying in the dark right now. It allows us to reach the broken warriors who think they are completely alone in this terrible fight. Sow a seed to multiply your upcoming harvest today, and watch heaven open the floodgates for you. Walk forward into your beautiful new reality with a quiet and completely peaceful mind. You no longer need to fight for your place in this loud and chaotic world. You are deeply loved and fiercely protected by the supreme architect of the entire universe. Stay silent and stay grounded while heaven continues to move massive mountains on your behalf behind the scenes. Let the fake people completely misunderstand your quiet retreat. Let them wrongly assume whatever they want about your sudden disappearance from their toxic and draining drama. You have entered the highest level of spiritual mastery, and you will never go backwards again. You are a true masterpiece of God, and your royal victory is officially complete and sealed forever today.